All right, so today we are going to talk a little bit about leveraging events to grow your business and how we have used events to create a 36 touch plan that not only allows us to interact with our clients, but really focus in on having transactions that come from a majority of our database. So I'm Carly Duckworth from Team Lucky Duck, and Kelly is here with us today as well. So if you hear her piping in, that's who's chatting with you. We are happy to share information with you about any of these events. So if there's certain things that you have questions about, or if you want to leverage one of these events for your own team or your own business, just let us know. We're happy to share how we do any of this or any of the templates and things that we have. So jumping in, just a little background on us and what we do. So we run a small team. We do typically somewhere between 80 and 90 transactions a year. In 2020, that was 89 transactions, roughly 30 million in volume. We normally land somewhere between 25 and 30 million in volume. In 2014, we decided to stop spending money on buying internet leads and to use that money and pour it back into our clients and our database. And our focus was to try and increase the percentage of transactions that came from our database. At that time, it was roughly 45%, I believe, of our business came from our database, and our goal was to work with more warm leads and more referrals that people were sending us and really grow that. And in 2020, 90% of our business came from our database. So we've done that slowly over time through the events and things that we offer. My one caveat, I guess I would say about this is I don't want it to be overwhelming to people. We started with one event each year, and then it's grown to now we do one almost every other month, and we have other touches that happen in between. So it's definitely grown organically over time. I don't want somebody to walk away and think they have to do, an event a month. Like certainly just starting with something is better than nothing. So this is to just kind of illustrate that really you can be anywhere in 10 years. So really even in 5 years, you can really grow your business. So in 2011, Zach got into real estate and he did 5 transactions that year. He was deployed for half the year and did 5 transactions before he left, which was just about $750,000 in volume. In 2020, we did, as you can see, about 29 million in volume, and obviously a few more transactions to get there. So because of the touches that we've put in place, we've really been able to grow our business. So this is like a 90-foot view of what our 36 touch looks like. We have this in a Word document, so if somebody who wants a copy of it, just reach out. The nice thing about having the year-long plan is it's not like, oh shoot, it's now April and I need to figure out what I'm going to do this month for my clients. We know what we're doing this month for clients because we set it out each year, and then we come up with the different events and touches that we're going to do. The one thing that we always say is it's constant and it's consistent. We want to make sure that they're hearing from us on a regular basis and that our branding and the things that we do all come across looking the same, so they know it's us, even just by like the font that we use. So the 36 touch, we do a monthly newsletter, so you're going to see that listed every single month. And then we call quarterly. So if you're thinking of like, wow, this seems overwhelming, just putting your calls on there is obviously a touch that you could do. And then we do some other events throughout the year. In addition, we send out a birthday card on their birthday and an anniversary card for when they purchase their home. A tip on that is that we write those at the beginning of every month for the whole month. We put the little date on the corner of the postcard for when it should be dropped in the mail. So you can write them all out and then just drop them throughout the month. And we get really, really positive feedback from people who get those. If you think about who sends you birthday cards, it's probably not that many people. If anyone at my age, I'm realizing not many people send cards anymore. So it's a nice little handwritten touch that we drop in the mail. So if you just did those things, you're doing more than what most people are doing. So these are the kind of annual events that we do. The first one is in February. Normally it's date night. We'll talk through what that looks like. We do some sort of Easter or spring event. This changed a little bit with COVID. So we used to do photos with the Easter Bunny. We have done an online magic show. We've done like some giveaways and that sort of thing. So I would say our second spring event sort of morphing into other things, but it used to be traditionally photos with the Easter Bunny. And that was an event that our office put on. So we just leveraged that event. In May, we do May Day surprise. We used to drop little baskets at everyone's house, and it just got to be too many. We couldn't get it all done in one day. So now we send a little postcard that says Happy May Day on it, along with a $1 scratch off lotto ticket. And people really enjoy getting something in the mail like that. Our big event every year is in June, or if we don't do it in June, sometime during the summer, an appreciation picnic. We do that at a local park, and we bring in picnic food, and there's a lake nearby. And so we just do it for a couple of hours and invite people to come out and have lunch on us and just get to chat and hang out in the nice weather. We do a Halloween event in October, and with COVID, that one also morphed. So it used to be in our office, and now we do a trunk or treat with several other agents in the office. So that's a fun one to do together too. If you're just starting off and thinking like, "Ooh, this seems overwhelming," get a few agents together and do this trunk or treat event. We normally do it the Saturday before Thanksgiving in the morning, and Halloween, not Thanksgiving, the Saturday before Halloween in the morning. And it's normally for 2 hours. People can come get their candy, and then they can still, participate in the Halloween stuff that they might have scheduled otherwise. And because we do it with a few other agents, we have a lot of people that come, and not everyone realizes that they're not all of our clients, but it looks really impressive to other people. So that's our October event. And then in Thanksgiving, we do a Thanksgiving pie giveaway, which I know several people in this office do the same thing. So we buy our pies at Costco, and then we do it kind of open house style. We let them come anytime during the day. They can stop into the office on the Monday and Tuesday before Thanksgiving to pick up their pie from us. We ordered them in advance, and then we asked them not to put the stickers on the top of the pie boxes so that we can put our own Team Lucky Duck Happy Thanksgiving sticker on top. And then Christmas time, we have done several different things. We used to do what we call the drop-in shop, where people could drop off their kids and go Christmas shop for a couple of hours. We used to do photos with Santa, which obviously has changed during COVID. And the last 2 years, we partnered with a local bakery and got a dozen cookies in a nice little package. And we dropped off cookies to clients who registered for cookies. We also strategically picked a few clients that didn't register that we wanted to reach out to for whatever the reason may be. Maybe we hadn't talked to them for a while, or they had sent us some referrals, just to say like, "Hey, thanks, happy holidays, Merry Christmas." And so we added a few extra people in on that one as well. So, all right, so this is date night. We do it the Thursday before Valentine's Day every year. I was just telling Kelly on the way down here that there are other times in the year that you could do a date night. It doesn't have to be during Valentine's Day. It's just the time of year that we didn't have something, so we threw it in here. But you could certainly do this any time of the year. What we do is we partner with local Papa Murphy's, and Kelly negotiated a really great deal with them. So we order a bunch of pizzas, and we have people register in advance for the take and bake pizza. They get a choice between sausage, pepperoni, or cheese pizza, what type of soda or drink they would like. So we do Coke, Diet Coke, or Sprite, or they have an option to say that they don't want to drink at all. And then a bag of popcorn. And on that bag of popcorn, we post a little sticker that says, if you have any referrals that pop up, we'd love for you to think of us. So just like a fun way to remind them that we're always interested in working with people that they know as well, and to remind them to send their friends and family to us. And then we got branded pizza cutters, which people really, really like. They tell me like they're the best pizza cutter that they have. So if I'm doing like a giveaway, I want it to be something that somebody's actually going to use. So we don't do a ton of different giveaways, but that is something that partners with an event and people really seem to like. So the audience for this is our past clients in our sphere. Like I said, it's the Thursday before Thanksgiving, Thursday before Valentine's Day, 4 to 6 p.m. at night. They can swing in, grab their stuff, and head out. We had 39 registrants in 2020. What do we have this year? About 60 this year. So people really like it. We buy the pizza boxes online on Amazon, and then we make a little graphic and put a sticker on top. So the nice thing about them being take and bake is that we don't have to like keep them warm, and people can kind of come in that time frame whenever it's convenient for them to pick up. Do you have anything else to add about that event? No. Okay. So this is photos with the Easter Bunny. So this is past clients and Sphere. Like I said, this is kind of morphed into a couple different things. We're actually not going to be doing this year. It used to be an event that our office would host, and they are not hosting it this year. So we're just going to this one, but it's something that people really liked. Have a photographer come in. It's a Saturday, normally 2 weeks before Easter, 10 to noon. And we normally have somewhere between 20 to 40 people register, which reminds me of another thing. I used to be really nervous about how many people would register for an event. And Zach had a really good point. He said, I don't really care how many people come. I just want everyone to know that they're invited. Because the point is to have a reason to touch base with a client and remind them that you're offering them something of value. And if they choose not to opt in, that's fine, but at least you've had the opportunity to talk to them. So traditionally, we see somewhere between 20 to 50 people and their families register for our events. So don't beat yourself up. Also, if you don't have like a lot of people who take you up on the first thing, you got to start somewhere and it grows from there. So this is our appreciation picnic. So past clients, we normally do it a Saturday in June. We do it over the lunch hour from 11 to 1. We have done it a few different places. The first couple of years we did it at Como Park in St. Paul because they have the zoo, and as you can see, they have rides and things like that. The last 2 years we have done it at a local park that has a lake and a beach and stuff like that. So I think really what we did is just tried to pick an outdoor location where there was a pavilion that also had some other things that we weren't having to come up with a bunch of stuff to entertain people. So did they have, like a playground, or like I mentioned, the beach? They had a volleyball court there. They had obviously swimming if people wanted to swim in the lake. When we did Como Zoo, they had the zoo that they could go to. So just kind of thinking about your community and where a good place would be where you could have kind of leverage things that are already there. Here's our May Day surprise. So I mentioned we used to drop off actual buckets of candy and things. Now we send out these postcards that you can see. They go to past clients, and we try and time it so that it hits their mailbox on May 1st. Now that year looks like we send about 270. We probably send closer to 400 of these now. And in the envelope is that card, and then a little scratch off ticket. And then we encourage people to post a picture of themselves holding the card, and if they won especially. And as you can see, people do a pretty good job, and we remind them to like hashtag our team, which is nice, so that people, if they click that hashtag, they can see all of the posts that people are doing. So this is our trunk or treat event. Again, this is going to go to our past clients in Sphere. We do it the Saturday before Halloween or Halloween weekend, if Halloween falls on a weekend, from 10 to 12 in the morning. And that's specifically done in the morning because we find that kids take naps in the afternoon. So we specifically try and target the morning for this event. We had 37 registrants for this, but as I mentioned, we had 5 other agents that did it with us. So we had for sure a good 100 people that were registered to come through for those 2 hours. And the kids really have a fun time. And it's actually one of the easier events that we do to like quickly decorate the car, get candy, and then have people walk through. And thankfully we've had really good weather. We do put a note in that if the weather is bad, that we will just be canceling. We don't plan to reschedule because it's kind of date specific. So nobody wants to come to a Halloween event after Halloween. So this is our Thanksgiving pie giveaway, which I mentioned a little bit about. This is for past clients and Sphere, and we do it the Monday and Tuesday before Thanksgiving. They can pick up at our office between 9 and 4. We remind them with a text message the morning of that it's their day to pick up their pies. We normally have between 40 and 50 people that register for this. As you can see, the stickers are not on the top of the pies from the store. They're on the bottom, and then we put our own stickers on top that say Happy Thanksgiving. We get really good feedback about it. It's pretty easy to do. And it's nice because we get to quickly check in and talk with people when they stop into the office. I don't know, I think it's one of the first events that we did. And if you're looking to start something, the nice thing is the cost is just however many pies for people that are registered. So. Right, yes. Yes, good point.
in case somebody comes.
Yep.
And the other thing that I was just going to mention, you had taken away. People will ask us like, "Oh my gosh, you posted all this stuff," and where you're going to get a bunch of people who you don't know, or will come and get something for free, and that has not had experience. You might have one or two or not have clients, but when you get to talk to them about real estate, or reconnect with them, somebody who has somebody who's interested in that. We had somebody sign up this year who was not a client, but was somebody on our team, and who was our friend who was interested in purchasing a house. So,
Yeah.
Just like FYI, they're never worried about getting the part with my.
Yeah. On the flip side, we also don't like boost it in an ad or like have it an open free event for everyone to see. But like for my friends, it doesn't bother me if they bring a neighbor or somebody that they know, or if they're not a past client and they opt in. That's awesome. They're raising their hand and they're participating. And so I want them to be part of our sphere of people. And hopefully when they go to buy or sell, they'll remember that they've participated in stuff with us and that, we're their realtor that comes to mind. So good point. This is the cookie process. So this is what they look like. Like I said, we partnered with a local bakery and they put these together for us. Roughly what they charged us for these, like $7, $7 or $8, I think it was. And that was for the packaging and a dozen cookies. And then we dropped them off. We did like an actual drop off for clients, past clients and spheres 10 days before Christmas. We normally do this about December 15th. We have 30-ish participants, and then we add in, like I said, a handful of others, people that I want to encourage to circle back, or people that have sent us business, or just somebody that I think like would really appreciate like an extra touch like this. Or if you have a farm set up and you're trying to get more listings in that neighborhood, like pick a few houses to drop a couple extra sets of cookies off at. So $7.50. So those were $7.50, which we worked with the local bakery for. And because they're from a local bakery, I feel like people are like, oh, these are really nice, versus just like a store-bought sort of thing. And it gives us an opportunity to also give back to other business owners in our community, which is always nice. Here is photos with Santa. Again, it's going to be past clients and sphere that we're inviting to this for Saturday of December. Normally it's the 10th through the 12th that we're looking at. And we get a good number of people that opt in when we do photos with Santa. We haven't done it the past 2 years. We've done the cookie thing instead. The important thing I think is just that you have something that you're doing to touch base with them. What I realized too is like a lot of it was kid focused at first. And so we've tried to sprinkle in a few extra things like the cookies, where you don't have to have children. Like most, young adults who don't have kids aren't going to come to a photos with Santa, but they might opt in for some cookies. So we try to also be mindful of like, who is our audience, not just past clients and sphere, but like, is it people with families? Is it, single people? The date night is another example. That could be either, right? So being mindful of that is also important. We normally get 40 to 50 registrants here. Our office hosted this, so we just leveraged their event. And it's been a really good event for us when we've done it in the past. And I'm pretty sure Rochester did this last year too. So if you're thinking like, oh gosh, I don't want to take this on, this would be a great option to start as your first kind of event. So the big thing is always like, how much does it cost? Well, we believe in getting 3 bids for everything and doing it as economically, as fiscally responsible as possible. I normally say I'm cheap, but there's a nicer way to say that, I guess. So this is sort of what our costs look like for 2020 to 2021. So not that crazy. We do all of those things for roughly $1,600. And a lot of it is just because I choose things that, like the Halloween event doesn't really cost me anything other than my time and the candy, right? Like dressing up the back of my car, getting myself dressed up, and then the candy. And because I have 5 other agents that are doing it with me, that cost also gets split up a little bit. So our biggest cost event is actually May Day, which is surprising because it's just something we drop in the mail. But we have to pay $1 for each of the scratch off tickets, and we have to pay for postage. So sometimes like the Halloween event is way more interactive and it costs me way less than the May Day event, for example. So really think about your sphere and where, you know, you want to spend your dollars and where you get the biggest bang for your buck. Because I'm all about the ROI on something. And if it doesn't make sense, then we'll get rid of it. So like as an example is we used to do housewarming parties, and the first year we did it, we got 5 transactions out of that. Well, that's $25,000 in commission. So that was well worth our money. The second year we didn't get any. So we stopped doing housewarming parties because it was a huge time commitment and we weren't getting an ROI on it where it made sense. So we do reevaluate what we're doing and, you know, add in and take out and edit based on, you know, what's happened in the years past or what's going on for that year. So we have obviously some systems and tools in place in order to do all of these things. So first and foremost, it's setting up that 36. Like I said, we have that as a workable Word document. So if you would like a copy of that as a starting point, we're absolutely happy to share. And then creating a communication plan around each event. So normally there's somewhere between 6 or 7 touches that happen related to an event, and that might seem like overkill. But Kelly always reminds me of the marketing rule of 7, which is you have to tell somebody 7 times about something before they actually take action on it. So some of the communication could be like in our newsletter, it's going to tell them that we have an event coming up and it's going to be a reminder about it. Then they're going to get an email about it. They get a text message reminder on the day of the event if they've opted in. We might do a phone call if we're like low on registrants and we want to reach out to people. And then we do a follow-up afterwards, you know, thanking people for coming. And then it's in the next month's newsletter as like, this is so awesome. Look what happened last month that we did with our clients to engage people to come to future events as well. Did I miss any of the touches that we do? Oh, and we post on social media. Yeah, thank you for that. So we use Canva and Command to design our invites. So if you need help with that or wondering how to use Command to be able to do that, we certainly would be happy to help show you. It's very plug and play. If you're not a tech person, it's very easy to use, I think. We use Eventbrite to host and manage all of our registrations. That's a free service and it allows them to register. So like for date night, you can put in if they want pizza, that's cheese, pepperoni, or sausage. You can edit the different fields to have different information depending on the event and what you're looking for. And then we use easy texting for event reminders. Just text them in the morning of the event to remind them either that it's happening or they should be picking up or whatever it may be. Easy texting is free for a certain number of texts, but if you go over that, then they do charge a small fee to send those messages. And then we use MailChimp for our monthly newsletter that goes out. So I know that there is also a newsletter in Command, so you could certainly use that as well. We have just established one now at this point that we've just continued using it because we already have the template thing created. So, oh, here we go. Here's the communication plan. You can probably use this a little bit more.
Encourage people to more keep our name in their email.
And I have never had anyone be annoyed by the number of actions that we've done. Or I mean, interact. They've never been like, stop contacting me.
We always
Yep.
Things anymore. But we don't. So we
Yep. Eventbrite. This is what we used for. This is like actually walking through how you set up Eventbrite, and it gets kind of in the weeds. So I'm not going to get into super detail about it, but just know that if you decide that you're going to do an event and you want to host it through Eventbrite, just reach out to us and we can walk you through, or we can send you this that goes step by step of how to set up an event in Eventbrite. Once you've done it once, it's pretty. Yes. So I'm just going to skip through that in there.
Marketing. So
kind of talk about ROI, which is important. So what events have done for our business, as I mentioned, we've drastically increased our number of transactions. We do it for very minimal cost for advertising and marketing. And that's kind of a breakdown of what our business is. So 43% of our business came from past clients and referrals, 40% came from our sphere, and then about 8% came from referrals from those people. About 90% of our business came from these touches that we do, and it's just simply staying in touch with people that you know. And it seems simple, but it really is. You just have to do it. And what I find, the more agents that I talk to, is that they get busy, and then this stuff falls through the cracks, and they don't do it. And so, like, having the system is what allows that not to happen and for your business to grow. So clients know us, they like us, and they trust us, or they were referred by somebody who does, because of our interactions and our continued interactions with them. And it's not, if I pick up the phone and have to call one of them and I haven't seen them in a while, they've at least interacted with us in one of the other ways that we are reaching out about stuff that we have going on. And so it's never really an awkward phone call if I'm calling and haven't seen them face to face in, a year or two since they've purchased their home. So if you have questions, that's our contact information. Certainly feel free to reach out at any point. As I shared, we're an open book, happy to share any of the information that we have, our tools or tips that we've used, or if you try and do an event and got questions, of course, certainly reach out. That's our email. That's probably the best way to reach us. And then that way we can respond back with whatever documents and things you need. So thanks so much for watching, and hopefully we will see you soon. Thanks.